Thank you so much, Washington. So curious, how many of you were here last year? We were here almost exactly a year ago. Wait, how many of you? Oh my gosh! Wow, thank you so much for coming back. I guess question, I've never done this before. How many people have been to 3 of my shows? 4? 5? 6? 7? Is there anybody that's 7? Oh, well, I'm gonna give you a free merch. You get like a free merch item or something. What's your name? What is it? Miriam, that's right. Okay, Miriam, you can go to the merch booth and you can pick out anything you want. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you who've come to my shows tonight, multiple times, anything. This is truly my dream. And I feel so just overwhelmed. Like, it's really hitting me hard today for some reason that sometimes I get really emotional. And I actually get to do this and I get to share it with people. And so anyways, thank you for being here tonight, you guys. Also, another thank you for all of you, because you don't even know this, but by being here tonight, you've donated to charity, because $1 from every single ticket across the entire tour goes towards my charity, the Upside Fund, where together we help pay people's medical bills. And so, also, if you bought anything from merch, 10% of all of my merchandise goes towards the cause, as well as if you're coming on the cruise next year, 100% of the proceeds from the cruise go towards it. And so I just want to say this community has been so generous in this effort with me through the last few years, through your donations, and I wanted to report back to you that together, so far in the last 4 years, I believe, we have eliminated, drumroll please, we have eliminated $15 million of medical debt. So, you guys have changed people's lives. I just again want to say thank you for your generosity, and thank you for being here tonight. Now, with no further ado, please give it up for my bandmates, Drewstein on the drums! That's right! And on keys and guitar, Ryan Rivera! Alright, everybody stand up! We'll have more fun if you stand in this song.
The philosopher Epictetus once said, "The more we value the things outside our control, the less control we have." The idea that we have control at all is a maddening yet tantalizing illusion. We have no control over the passage of time, the heat of the sun, or the actions of others. Our bodies are made up of cells that we didn't choose, and not even our thoughts are completely our own, often influenced more by outside factors than true consciousness. With so much of life out of our command, there is a freedom that comes when we surrender. When we give up the things that don't serve us, we open space for more of what does. We can give up guilt, judgment, and fear, replacing it with hope, acceptance, and faith. A far cry from giving up. Surrendering allows us to give in. Give in to the work of dreaming without trying to force the outcome. Let go of the worry, not the dream. And when we aren't relying solely on our own resources, we can tap into the thought that maybe magic is possible. Maybe miracles do happen. Perhaps there is a higher power at work. There is a space between working towards something and letting it come to you. There is a gap between wanting an outcome and knowing you don't need it. That is where we take control, by giving it up. That is where we find the magic. Some people call it God. Others call it karma or fate. But whatever name you give it, trust that you are part of the fabric of this universe. And what you are seeking is also seeking you.
What do you think?
Are you sleeping?
I might go to sleep.
I always like to try to zen the audience in that moment. And actually, one of the very first things I knew I wanted to do in this show was that I wanted those last two songs to be back to back. Because I really wanted that contrast of like, in the previous song, overwhelming you and making there so many things that maybe possibly you wouldn't quite know where to look, and suddenly everything's red, and then very quickly to calm you down. And you know, I really do believe we live in a very overstimulating world where our senses are constantly being torn between different sounds, sights, noises, everything. And it can be overwhelming to know where to place our time and our attention. And you know, it really is no wonder that so many of us struggle with anxiety to some degree.
That would be me.
And that's why I've realized in my own life, it is so important for me to create moments of stillness in order to combat this overwhelming life that we all live. And you know, I realized that this was important for me several years ago when, out of nowhere, my anxiety just shot through the roof. And I became this very anxious person that it was like a new version of myself that I was not used to, and I didn't quite know how to deal with it. And during this time, we actually were on tour, and almost every night as we would walk to stage, I would be filled with so much fear. Not nerves. Nerves are different. It was fear. It was this innate fear that I wasn't going to be enough and that everybody was going to be disappointed. And because this is how I entered the stage and this was my mindset, every night, no matter how loud the audience cheered, no matter how many smiles I saw, as I left the stage, I was always convinced that indeed I wasn't enough and that everybody was so disappointed that they came. And this was what anxiety had created in my mind as my reality. And you know, a really close friend of mine, was watching what was happening to me, she was listening to me, and she gifted me a breathwork session. And I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I did it. But I tell you what, that night I slept through the night for the first time in months. And I thought to myself, okay, there's something to this. And I've actually been doing breathwork almost every day for the last 3 years, and it has changed my life. It's allowed me to reconnect with myself. It's allowed me to stop being afraid. It's calmed the voices in my head and helped me to recognize the difference between my anxiety and the truth, just by connecting with myself and finding that stillness. And so tonight, I actually wanted to teach you a few simple breath patterns that you can do at any time if you're ever feeling anxious, nervous, panicky, all of those things. All right? Okay. So, most of us are very shallow breathers, and that actually contributes a little bit to anxiety. So the first one is literally just deep breathing. So, together, we're all gonna take a deep inhale through our nose, and you're gonna breathe to your stomach. So try to inhale your stomach like a balloon, and then when you exhale, you breathe out your mouth, and you pull your stomach in like you're squeezing it out. All right, so everybody breathe in your nose, and out. One more time, in your nose, and out. One more time, in your nose, and out. So it's just deep, connected breathing. The second breath, this is actually one of my favorites to do if I'm ever in a moment of like, oh dear, I'm getting really anxious. This really resets me very quickly. You're gonna take 3 sips in through your nose and then 1 exhale. So everybody together, sip, 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 out. One more time. Okay, Now you're all expert breathers, and I thought in this next song I'm actually going to invite you to close your eyes as I play the entire song, and there's going to be a voice that will guide you to breathe in and out. Remember, breathing in your nose, out your mouth, and it will take you through those 2 breath patterns we just learned. Sometimes the voice will stop, but please keep breathing. And at the end of the song, you'll be invited to just keep your eyes closed and just feel. Just focus on how you feel. Focus on the music. And I promise you, I won't be doing anything interesting up here. No high kicks, no spins, twirls, nothing. So this is a moment for you to relax, enjoy, and just a fair warning, every night so far on tour, I've made really awkward eye contact with at least one person. So close your eyes.
No, I think I could post it though.
Not that big.
Oh, yeah?
Close your eyes.
In, out, in, out, in, out.